first thing I want to say is thank you so much for the support we've been getting here on the YouTube channel. I never thought I'd be getting thousands of views on these videos, but you guys are absolutely killing it. There are no words, so thank you guys so much. You guys have been beating the shit out of that thumbs up button. You guys have been commenting, which I absolutely love, guys. Even if you don't like the video, guys, leave a comment as to why. I'd really appreciate it. If you do like the video, leave a comment as to what you did like, and I'll try to keep doing that. Before we even get anywhere, I need to give some shout outs to Dopey Tyler, Echo Hoff Madison, Rundown Rookie, Jojo, Morpsta, Nigel, and Luke the Notable. I promised you guys I'd give you a shout out. For those who don't know, I stream over on twitch.tv/Yodesla almost every day. That's where most of this content is actually made. Yeah, they supported my channel a lot yesterday. I promised them that I'd give them some shout outs. Without further ado, though, I mean, we are going to be looking at a Kinsano video today. I know everyone's been waiting forever for these. What you guys are going to be seeing is a brief overview of the leader herself. You're going to be looking at the leader wheel, her specialized units, little tips and tricks you can do with her, as well as the ability to watch me do build orders that you guys might be interested in executing yourself in some customs against your friends, or daringly if you go into some ranked 1v1 matches. Yeah, so I mean, this is what you guys wanted, right? So here it is. I'll see you guys after the video ends. Thank you so much, and here we go. Oh, welcome back, guys, to the in-depth segment here for the Halo Wars 2 Kinsano Masterclass. What we're going to be looking at right now is just a quick overview of the leader as a whole and her specialized units. We will not be going over any of the core UNSC units. If you want to look at those, such as the Marine, Rabbit, Scorpion Tank, things like that, head over to the UNSC Masterclass guide. The link for that will be in the description below. All right, first up, obviously, we're going to have a Kinsano Cyclops, 300 blue and 275 yellow. Now, this leader without her upgrade is not the greatest thing in the world. However, she does have her place without an upgrade. If your opponent is going scouts or a little bit of infantry or just something, and you need a little bit of oomph behind what you're going for, but you don't want to spend that extra 325 yellow on her upgrade, she could be still okay to fight low numbers of scouts and things. She does all right, but most of the time you definitely want to get her upgrade. All right, so as I said, her upgrade does cost 325 yellow. That's for her flame wall, and what that does is it gives her the ability to flame wall. Nice little toasty toast right there. You can actually do some cancellations. So here's some of those that advanced stuff I was talking about. So with her Y ability, what you want to do is, say your opponent has a Nightingale. Now this is important, guys. If your opponent has a Nightingale, let me grab one of these real quick. And you're about to use your Kinsano's Y ability, say on your opponent's base. What you can actually do is stutter step her Y ability to fake out your opponent. So what happens is, say you're about to Y ability your opponent's base. As soon as your opponent sees your Kinsano go into her Y ability animation, what they're gonna do is they're gonna smoke it, and then your Kinsano wastes her Y ability. But what you're able to do is stutter step with her. And what I mean by that is you can cancel the animation even a half a second or a second into it. So here we go. Watch what I'm talking about. See, look at this. You can actually cancel it like that by stepping away, and then you don't waste her Y ability. See what I'm saying? You still have her Y ability, even though you've clicked it. There, I've clicked it, and now I can click away. So if as soon as they see that animation, they're gonna smoke her, and you can just walk away, and then re-Y ability the base. So you can actually do it pretty far. So you see the arms go out, you start Y. Look, the fire actually came out there, and I can still use the Y ability. You have to time it just correctly, and you can keep on using it. So these are those advanced things that we talked about, guys. That I'm gonna try to feed you guys so you guys have that knowledge. So you can actually completely fake your opponent out by hitting that Y ability on the base or on the units, pulling away, and they're gonna smoke or use rams with their chopper or their ghosts or their warthogs, and they're gonna try to cancel you, but you've already canceled it, and then you can reuse it a lot of the time, catching them off guard. Okay, so moving into her next upgrade. This is Tech 2, the high torque joint upgrade. One of the really good upgrades in the game for your leaders. And the reason for that is this. So let's actually get her in motion and you guys can see the difference. So what this is going to do is actually give her a lot more HP and damage, but the really cool thing is the speed. So watch her as soon as the upgrade kicks in. Look at that. She moves really quickly. Her nickname in Halo Wars 2 among a lot of players is the fullback. I'm pretty sure it just has to do with the fact that she's huge, she's thick, and she's quick. So, yeah, that's the Kinsano leader on Tech 2. Very versatile, very strong, and you can definitely catch your opponent off guard with her Y abilities and using them the way I described. Now, Dragon Tank, 650 yellow, that's going to be your Tech 3 upgrade. It just makes her Y ability that much better. So you can just roast a much larger area as well as leave some embers on the floor, some coals that actually do damage over time, like lava pools. Kind of like the abilities that she has also does. Now moving into one of her specialized units, actually I believe it's her only specialized unit. It's going to be the Flame Warthog, 280 for one of these bad boys. So that's what it looks like. Let's get a little super zoom in for you. I know you guys love it when I do this, so there you go. There's your 4K super in-depth look. We can actually get further in on this. I mean, look at that. Look at the graphics on this game, guys. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. I mean, you can actually see the controls and stuff inside this Warthog. It's beautiful. But anyway, guys, so this Warthog actually just has a flame instead of a machine gun on top. Hence why you have the Hellbringer as well, that giant flamer backpack. These are okay for harassment and taking out infantry early on, and they're okay at taking out infantry-based heroes. Where they really start to shine, though, is their Tech 3 upgrade, which is the incendiary grenades. This is going to give them the ability to shoot further and have a lot more accuracy. They rarely ever miss with this upgrade. You can actually see it, the change there on the gun. Looks like a giant gun on top of this Warthog, and you can actually use this to kite your opponent's units and run away, and it's just a very good upgrade all around. It is important to note that these do cost more than a regular hog by a few blue, but they do lose to hogs, regular hogs. These have an anti-air mortar in them. They're actually on the back there. They actually shoot up into the air, so the fire actually can't shoot air, obviously. But the little mortars can, and they're actually not that bad at taking out small bits of air. All right, so now we get to move into one of the fun parts, the leader wheel. So of course we have Heat of Battle. This is what you should always get first point, guys. There's almost no scenario these days. There was a short period where you would get Hell Charge, but not these days. Heat of Battle for your first point. Upon making a kill, the unit briefly gains a damage bonus and have greatly increased armor. So getting this is the staple of Kinsano. Always get Heat of Battle first, guys. It's just such a good ability that you should almost never, ever pass up. I would say for almost all of the population of Halo Wars 2. Just make sure you get it. When not even just a damage boost is what's important. When your unit gets a kill, it's basically unkillable for however much time that the effect lasts. So keep that in mind. Coming up next is going to be Hell Charge. 1, 2, and 3. Whilst active, affected units are faster, do more damage, and explode on death. Now, point 2 for Kinsano is where things get interesting. So, if you're in a scout battle, okay, and you think you're gonna just end the game, you have rabbits, you're versus other rabbits, you have rabbits, you're versus ghosts, choppers, whatever, and you think you have the timing right, and you want to get on top. Say you're getting rammed by your opponent, right? Your rabbits are getting rammed by choppers or ghosts. This is a good example. You can actually get Hell Charge really quick, put it on your unit, and then they'll explode as soon as they die. They also do more damage, and they are quicker. Hell Charge is better than it used to be, but not as good as it was when it was broken, obviously. So keep that in mind. It's a very niche use these days. It's yeah, I think the only time I would use this right now is if I was in a scout fight and I wanted to take a quick lead and catch them off guard. Now moving into probably one of the most picked, probably the most picked leader point, which is Hell Drop. But let's finish off Hell Charge real quick. Just upgrading it increases the price every single time you upgrade it, and it increases the explosion damage as well as the speed and regular damage of the units affected by the Hell Charge, and it increases the radius as well. Moving into the Hell Drop, this is probably one of the most used and most picked leader points by Kinsano. Point 2. The red line's really good as well, but we'll get to that in a second. So Hell Drop, a lot of times people use this. They'll send a rabbit to their opponent's base, and they'll drop a flamer on top of their generator, and they'll attack it and try to kill it early on. She's also really good at using it early on to use her Y ability with the leader, and then you stun with the drop, and you toast everything in that area using that combo. It's actually really strong early. If you can catch a ball of infantry. But for the most part, the reason you want to get Hell Drop is simple. 90% of the games you're going to get are your opponent's going to go infantry, and the Hell Drop is, I mean, it's a beautiful unit. It's a 1-star Hellbringer. Super tough, super great to have a Hellbringer drop in at any point in the map. Great for defending nodes, great for stunning groups of infantry. It's also important to note that wherever the flamer lands actually does damage as well. So say this is your opponent's flamer and you have a Hellbringer drop. You drop it on them, and right here you see that fire on the ground? That actually does damage to your opponent's units for the duration of that those embers on the ground. So keep that in mind, guys. Very powerful ability. Her upgraded one, you can get this third point. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. There are other options, but you upgrade it. It's going to be 2 Hellbringers, dropping in 2 little pools of embers as well, along with those units, and they are 2 stars instead of 1. So these are very, very tough units, and they can get a lot of work done, especially against infantry. But one of the main reasons for this is it's a double stun early on in the game, and it's very, very powerful because Kinsano really works along the whole aspect of user Y ability. Drop in some units, drop some turrets, and keep your opponent stunned so they have to sit inside that fire, and it does massive amounts of damage. Moving in now as well to Red Line, all units gain an initial boost to speed and damage upon deployment. Redline 2 is the exact same thing, except it adds a permanent speed boost to vehicles and aircraft. I should mention the permanent boost does not affect Hornets. It used to, no longer does. Alright, moving now into the napalm missiles. Fires an area of effect incendiary missiles, causing flame damage over time. What this is mostly good for these days is using it on your opponent's structures. You can actually, if you do place it just right in the middle between your opponent's structures, it doesn't look like it, but because I placed it right there, it actually affects all the pads on the base. Even the ones on the sides are getting hit by that fire, and it'll do damage. So that's the best place to put it, right there. And you can actually hit all 7 pads on your opponent's base. You combo that with your leader's Y ability on their base, and you can actually take out some pads pretty early on. For the most part, though, I don't like using napalm missiles on units unless it's infantry and I think I can get a stun off, maybe combo with the hell drop and my leader. So keep that in mind. It is mostly used for base destruction. However, once you get it upgraded to level 3, it becomes a huge carpet bomb, and this actually does do quite a bit of damage. Still, you like to use it on structures, but there's nothing wrong with using that on units. It's exceptionally powerful. Moving now into the drop turret. You can actually combo this with the hell drop and your leader. So the point progression would be a heat of battle, hell drop, level 1, and then turret drop. And what you could do, let's just say you're about to fight, you know, all these Hellbringers. You bring your leader up, and what you want to do is actually start the Y ability first, and then you just drop in, and you have your opponent stunned, and they're sitting in that, and they're dead. Anything in that is toasted. It's literally toasted. Great combo. Does great damage early on versus little light vehicles as well as infantry. Here's some of that information that I want to tell you guys about, some of those secrets that people don't know. So here's an example. Turrets like these, like the turret drop, as well as shade turrets and other things, you can actually, for some of them, tell them what you want them to attack. Even though it doesn't look like it's selected, as long as you click on it, you can actually tell these turrets what you want them to attack. And I would say 99.9% of the Halo Wars 2 players do not know that. And now you guys know that. So there you go. It's great information to have, being able to tell that turret what you want it to attack. Because sometimes it can finish off a structure or a unit that you are particularly really wanting to take out. Moving now into restoration drones. We all know what this is. Drops a heal. Every upgrade makes the heal bigger, costs more, lasts longer, heals more. I mean, that's about as simple as it gets. I'm not going to get into too much detail on that. I rarely pick restoration drones in competitive play. It's just not something I like. There are better choices. Later on in the game, sure. You know, post 20 minutes, I can see myself going back to get it. But there's already so many great choices on the leader wheels that just not something that I go for. Something that I do go for, though, on 4th point is going to be the Flame Warthog drop. This is going to drop in 3 of those Flame Warthogs that we talked about. Not only does it drop them in, it drops them in with a veteran C on each, and wherever they land, they stun, and on top of that, the little flame pools come along with them to do that damage. So this is what I was talking about, guys. So early on, you can actually pull off a combo that looks something like this if you do it quick enough. So what you actually want to do when you have this many stun units, I know I told you guys to use the Y ability first before, but now that you have this many stun units, what you do is you can act, I'd say normally I'd go for the Flame Warthog drop first, get the stuns, Y ability with the leader, drop in the flamers, and you can actually drop in the turret if you got level 1 flamer. And now that whole time your opponent was getting stunned and is sitting in all that fire, and it's a devastating combo that you guys should not look past, because you can actually kill basically anything on the ground that gets caught in that. So keep that in mind, guys. Now moving now into something interesting. So Kinsano is one of those leaders that she just has a fantastic mega point. So by mega point, I mean her final point choice between these two here. We got Inferno and Firestorm Battle Group. Inferno is gonna be one of those things where it's best used most of the time on your opponent's base. And what you do is you just do what I was talking about before. You bring your Kinsano over, you Inferno the base, and then you Y ability. And you'll kill every single pad on your opponent's base 99.999% of the time. And it's just something everyone does. I'm sure you've all seen it. Where this guide comes into play is what I think, especially in today's meta, I do believe, unless you've been literally taking your opponent apart the whole game and you just want to end them with an Inferno and take out their pads and make them quit, I'd say if you're on even footing or even behind your opponent, you definitely want to go with Firestorm Battle Group. Just like the other drops in some Flame Pools, drops in some Veterans and units, but more importantly, drops in the Hell Charge level 3. So in case you don't know this, the Firestorm Battle Group gives you a level 3 Hell Charge to those units. Not only those units, but here we go. Gives Hell Charge to all the units in the vicinity that you drop them on. So if you are playing teams, it actually gives them Hell Charge as well. So keep that in mind. So yeah, Hell Charge, exceptionally good, especially on level 3. These two Hornets are basically the best part, along with the tank. You get some flamers with it, but I'd say the best part's definitely the two Hornets and the tank, and the Hell Charge just makes for a devastating drop. Great for comboing with your leader and just making your army that much more powerful. All right, guys, that's going to be it for the in-depth analysis here for Kinsano and her leader wheel. Her leader wheel. We're going to exit out of this now, and we're going to go into some actual gameplay. All right, guys, so what we have here is going to be me doing a quick rabbit build order against Toro. So what this build order is for any large scale maps such as Vault, Badlands, let's say Ashes,
supply pad
and
constructed.
I think those are pretty much the main ones for rabbit play. So what we want to do here is, obviously I'm taking that first Jackrabbit, we're going straight to the yellow up top. Now the reason for this is it's the only cylinder on the map, and when I say cylinder, I am talking about the big piles of yellow, like the big cylinder that's turned up on its axis, which you guys will see here in a moment. So what I'm going for is a triple pad opener, because I want to buy a lot of minis here. I'm not going for a very fast rabbit spam, I'm going for later quantity over anything else here. So the idea is not to have a bunch of rabbits by 2 minutes. It's more of have a flood of rabbits in the early to mid game. And that's what we're going to go for here. So with this build, what you want to do is try to get the minis in the middle, and then try to grab the mini on the other side as well, where that marine is. So there we go. I'm actually going to grab it right there. I'm upgrading my generator. And now what I'm going to do is try to grab the other mini as well. Sometimes on this map you can get lucky and get 4 minis to 1, but usually it's unlucky. I do get unlucky. I do get lucky here and actually am able to grab all 4. But this build works just the same if you get 3 or 2 minis. It does work best, however, if you do get 3. Now keep in mind, mind, as a rabbit user, and if you do go triple pad, you are likely to get 3 minis, so just make sure that you get the far ones first, and then work your way back to your own mini bases.
Local units.
So what we're gonna see here is I'm grabbing resources on the map. I'm not doing anything crazy.
Look alive, Marines.
Right now I'm just trying to keep my own units alive, and I'm trying to get some resources at the same time. Just trying to get up all my supply pads. That way I have a nice strong economy to start pumping rabbits with. Now, the reason rabbits are so strong with Kinsano, not so strong, I'm sorry, we'll rephrase that. The reason Kinsano rabbits are the strongest rabbits you can make are due to the fact of her heat of battle that we talked about earlier. Every time one of these rabbits gets a kill, it's basically invulnerable for a small period of time. And then, of course, you mix on top of that either red line or her flame drop, you know, her Hellbringer drop, along with her maybe a hell charge. She has lots of options to go along with these rabbits. So what I'm doing now is I do not want to engage, guys. Keep this in mind. You do not want to engage with the rabbits until you get your upgrade for them. Try as much as you can to stay away from taking large-scale engagements. Yes, you can fight a Marine one-on-one, or you can fight a
support drone researched. All units.
Grunt one-on-one. However, you cannot go after groups until you have your drop or your hell charge or your upgrade. So here we go. You're going to see me. I got my drop through. I got my upgrade at the same time. And now what we're going to see is me do a lot of damage here to these Marines. And I'm going to mop up. I'm continuing to pump these rabbits from all sides of the map here. Every single one of my minis is pumping out these rabbits. I have the flamer going to the main while the rabbits clean up the infantry.
Moving out.
And for the moment, yeah, as you can see, I mean, they're doing a fantastic job. When you get into a situation where you're actually fighting infantry around a garrison, kill all the infantry around the garrison and fight the garrison last. Otherwise, you're just going to be getting hit by a lot of units for a long period of time. And believe me, you don't want that.
Local units. All units.
So moving in, you can see he has a lot of turrets here. We're going to try our best to stutter step. So what you're actually seeing there is me clicking the ground and then clicking the turret. What that does is it does a animation cancel. So what do I mean by this? What happens is the rabbit will actually shoot, move forward a centimeter, so really tiny, and then it'll start shooting again. It basically resets its delay on its attack, allowing it to shoot faster overall, giving you a damage buff and an edge over your opponents. All right, guys, here we go. We are on Vault.
All units.
And as you can see, still Kinsano here. And we are against Yeti Maniac, who is Atriox. Now, for me, preferably, I don't like long games, so I do try to keep games to a minimum of sub 15-20 minutes. The shorter the game, the better. Win or lose, it means I can get another game in, so either way, don't really care much.
Units.
But this build here is called the Mini Steel. I mean, as as it probably implies, very simply, we are just going to go in, steal a mini base, and go from there. But this one's a little bit more in depth, as you guys will see in a second. So I actually send the rabbit through the teleporter and I send it straight to the mini. Now, it's important to note that you can actually time this perfectly, as you're going to see when you're grabbing your first 2 piles of blue. As soon as the one Marine on the left-hand side is done grabbing its blue, and you send it to the left-hand side, the rabbit will be ready to be moved from the side where it teleported. So it all lines up perfectly, and as well as you're able to build your generator third for this, which is the way the builder goes. So pad, generator, upgrade the first pad, upgrade the generator. And as you can see here, we are stutter stepping the rabbit, making it shoot faster. And now we're going to build another rabbit and a pad. So where this differs from most Halo Wars 2
Mini
mini
base
steals
complete.
is that 90% of the
Local
players
units.
will steal a mini base, they'll put a barracks up, and they'll spam
Local
Marines
units.
and Flamers and just send them all willy-nilly at their opponent, giggling as they do so. As you can see, I
Supply
actually
pad
bought my own
constructed.
mini in the back, but I don't want it. So what we're doing here
Our
is we're
base is
letting our
under
opponent
attack.
see that I bought
Local
the mini
units.
base, and as soon as he goes away from it, we're actually going to cancel it for the money, because I do not want that mini base. I want the blue.
Local
I want to
units.
build as many units as
Barracks
possible.
constructed.
Good rule of thumb for this game when you are doing these
Local
crazy
units.
builds like
Supply
this.
pad constructed.
If you are
Rally point set.
obviously Kinsano and you're against a banished and you're doing some quick build, I tend to like to go
Local
rabbits mixed in with my barracks
Local
units. If I'm against UNSC, I typically like to go Marines mixed in with my barracks
Leader point
units.
earned.
This is for a couple of reasons. One, rabbits don't die to suicide grunts. Rabbits
units.
killed Marines. I'm sorry, they killed grunts. You know, pretty okay.
All units.
It forces them to go grunt mine. If they do, they don't have yellow for other important things. And also, if you actually starter
All
step
units.
your rabbits correctly in low numbers, you
All
can
units.
actually deal with the low numbers of
Need
choppers.
something done
So
fast, Chief?
keep that in mind. So here we go.
All units.
I see the Chosen, and
All
I gotta
units.
tell you guys, this is worst
units.
case scenario for this build.
All
Seeing
units.
that Chosen. Lucky for us, we did go for a quick sniper.
All
That
units.
turret on the base would deter most players, especially the second one building the proxy.
All units.
But I have no intentions of stopping. The most important thing to kill here is going to be that Chosen, so we are going to hunt it down like a
All
dog.
units.
And we're going to keep on chasing. You're trying to keep that sniper within range, trying to pop it.
Enemy hero
And as you go, the sniper actually manages to get that final kill. And now we're off to the races. We're not out of the weeds yet. Our opponent still has that war console up. They can build another one. It's going to come out upgraded. And here we go. I'm going to stutter step. I'm going to kill that chopper as quickly as I can because I don't want it killing our sniper. Because we are going to need the snipers when that Chosen inevitably comes back out. So what we're doing now is we gotta take care of the turret. I right trigger over to my Marine so I can select that
Enemy structure
separately,
burned
because I
to
want
the
to take
ground.
out that engineer, because an engineer and a turret is actually exceptionally powerful early game because it's just really good combination. The engineer keeps the turret healthy, and obviously rabbits don't do much damage to air.
All
So we
units.
gotta take care of that as quickly as we can. And that final turret does go down.
None of them got out
And as
alive.
we can see here, he's got the engineer left. I focused that down, and now I'm preparing myself for the Chosen. We're at 50 population, only at 4 minutes here, even after losing some units. We've got our snipers in the back. I actually right trigger over to them. I pull them to the back because I do not want them to be killed by the Chosen. And here we go. I'm actually trying to surround the entrance. So that when the Chosen comes out, his path gets a little messed up. So here we go. The Chosen does come out. I've got the entrance a little bit messed up, but he does wiggle his way through. I immediately split the snipers. The Chosen gets a little tiny shot off, but we do manage to kill the Chosen. And just like that, the game is over, and we managed to pull off a beautiful
Well done, people.
mini
You
steal
did me
strategy
proud.
here with Kinsano on Vault. All right, guys, here we go. The final game for you guys today in this Kinsano Masterclass. Now, what you're noticing is, well, what is this? What is this nonsense? What is this resolution? What is this? Why do I see you in the bottom left of my screen? Well, I really wanted to give you guys content that isn't just me going in and noob bashing or just playing randoms or just, you know, subpar people on the ladder. Now, don't get me wrong, I played some really good guys, but I know what you guys want to see. You don't just want to see theory. You don't just want to see me go in and beat players just because I'm a top player on the game. You want to see this stuff in action. You want to see what happens when things don't go my way. You want to see how I can dig myself out of tough situations and think on my toes. So what I have for you today is myself on ladder getting searched out by none other than Almirante 99, another top 3 to top 5 player depending on the day. And he is going to be playing under his extant goat Smurf. He was also streaming during this gameplay as well. So what we have is obviously me playing as Kinsano, and my opponent Almirante 99 is going to be playing as Yap Yap. This is Mirage. It's kind of a good map for both of us. It really depends on what goes on. Yap Yap, very good at stealing minis. Fortunately for myself here, I did manage to grab a mini on his side of the map, and I got one of my own. Now, normally Yap Yap likes to try to steal both your minis on your side of the map, and then they'll grab their own, and you'll be kind of stuck with either one mini or just the big mini in the middle, and things get, you know, kind of dicey from there. But as I said, lucky for me, I got the 2 corner minis, so I'm kind of okay with this. I'm building Marines, and as you guys can see here, I'm building an armory. And I'm just going to tell you guys right away, when we were going over the Kinsano Cyclops earlier in the guide, what you noticed was me talk about that there is a time and place for an unupgraded Cyclops. And a lot of you are probably thinking, well, that's ridiculous. Why would you not upgrade a Cyclops? And you guys are going to see me actually do that here this game. I'm going to use an unupgraded Kinsano Cyclops. And again, I'm really sorry for you guys having to see all this nonsense on the screen, but it's really difficult to search out top players and record and play on my other monitor. And I just did not want you guys to miss out on this particular content. Yes, I could have given you another game versus some random person on the ladder, but as I stated, I did want to give you guys the best content possible. So this is what it is. So what you're going to be seeing here is I have a rabbit out. It did its job. It scouted. It got me what I needed. And now I'm actually going to just be building my units kind of sporadically. My goal obviously is to get a node here at some point, try to get back that bottom right mini, start over there in the bottom right hand corner. Almirante is going for choppers, and once again I am sorry for this stuff popping up on the screen. Nothing I can really do about it because I wasn't actually recording this match because I didn't know I was going to get Almirante. But big shout outs to everyone that did give me bits and follows and subscriptions during this game. It really helped hype it up. So what you're probably asking, well, what's the point of getting your Kinsano Cyclops out and, you know, not upgrading it, whatnot? So the thinking behind this for myself was this: if I don't spend that 325 yellow on her upgrade, I can actually use it on grenade throw, which I'm actually getting right now. As you guys can see in my main base, I'm actually upgrading grenade throw because he's going choppers. I think grenade throw and then having my leader out to tank some damage could be really strong here. And I'm actually going to be getting up my second generator on top of this. Now I have to play defense here. If I go out onto the map at this point in time, I would get absolute and utterly demolished. Lucky for me here, he helped me clear the node by having cannon fodder there. I cleaned up the cannon fodder, cleaned up the sentinels, and I'll be grabbing my first node along with that generator getting upgraded, that second one. I'm at 51 population. I do have a garrison in the middle of the map. I actually have sent my Marine to the extractor behind his base, just getting some scouting information. We did talk about this, guys. Scouting is uber important, and it cannot be understated, especially in high level games. Knowing what your opponent is building is half the game. So here we go. I'm actually going to go push the middle now. There's a lot of garrisons. Look, now as you can see, I'm actually pre-splitting my units because I do not want to get hit by a ram mine combo. So it's always smart to try to pre-split, and you guys will see me do that quite often. Here we go. He actually drops the mines in. I immediately move away, try to go toward that garrison. Having those 2 garrisons, while they're not going to do that much damage, they will do damage over time, and he really can't dislodge them with choppers. So what I want to do now is I'm actually going over to the garrisons, because that's where I want to fight him. I want to fight him where I have a little bit of an advantage here. Also very important to note, when you are in a high stakes, high caliber situation, do not spam your grenade throw on your units or your grunt mine. What you want to do is just throw them, you know, very conservatively. You want to throw them a little at a time. Now I actually just noticed that he is Tech 2 because he actually dropped out a Ranger. Unfortunately there, I did whiff the turret drop. However, it does force him away and gives me the opportunity to possibly kill this mini base. Now, as I stated before, my leader is unupgraded, so losing it is not the end of the world. Also, interesting note, please ignore my shirt in the bottom left hand corner. What happens is when I'm playing and when I'm, like, you know, staring at the screen, what I tend to do is I put my leg up on the wheel or the leg of the chair, and I bounce my leg up and down. And what happens is my shirt is resting on my leg, and it, as you can see there, it bounces my shirt up and down. So it looks really funny and really distracting. So now that I've told you, you probably can't keep your eyes off of it, but there it is. Just another aspect of the stream. So right now this game is looking quite dire. I have to be frank here. We're at 15 population. Our opponent got Tech 2 before us. It's looking really bad. What we do have going for us is we still have two mini bases. We still have a node, and we are Tech 2 ourselves. What we're doing now is we're actually sending Marines around the map. And the reason we're doing this is we want to scout out our opponent, see if he's got any secret expansions that we can deal with. So what I'm actually going for is those Kinsano specialized units, the Flame Hogs. They're pretty good against Banished. As long as my opponent doesn't spam Marauder into Wraith, I should be fine. And luckily for me this game, my opponent does not do that. My Cyclops is back out. I am now upgrading her because I do want to get her high torque joint. Because she is actually extremely powerful once she gets that Tech 2 upgrade. Now, what we're going to be seeing here is I'm not going to be playing too aggressively. Lucky for me, my opponent is building a lot of Rangers to try to deal with infantry that really doesn't exist. The only infantry on the field for me are the scattered Marines and, of course, my leader, my Kinsano Cyclops. He's coming in now. He's going to be sending some cannon fodder at my main. What he's doing is he's scouting, but as well at the same time, he is getting rid of unnecessary population to make room for better units. Now, my base was locked. I am unlocking it now. Got a couple of hogs, and so we are ready to rock and roll here out on the map. We can expect our opponent to more than likely start building hunters, maybe banshees. So we'll have to account for that in the near future. All right, so I've got about 4 hogs out now. We've got my shirt bouncing up and down, and we've got me, just moving out onto the map. Lucky for us, he's still making those Rangers, as we can see. He's got the engineers, though, as well. That's going to keep his units nice and healthy. We do, however, have a lot of drops ready to go. We got our flame drop, our turret drop. We're going to have a nice flame hog drop as well. On top of all that, so the flame hog, we have the flamer drop and the turret drop. I'm building wolves because he has the engineers and possibly could be going for banshees to mix in. Wolverine Flamehog Leader is a devastating combination on Tech 2, so hopefully we can actually make that work. One of the cool things about this is if you look in the bottom of the screen, I know it's covered up by the Pokemon, but you can actually see the controller and you can actually see what buttons I'm pressing as I'm pressing them. So that's pretty interesting. A lot of people like looking at that and whatnot. So we have our flame hogs here. I see my opponent's got the engineer bubble. Coughed to mute my mic there for a second. And I don't want to fight that. I think fighting at his base there would be a horrific mistake. What I do notice here, though, is that we are both still on one base each, which is, as Kinsano, if you can keep your opponent on one base, you are better off, in my opinion. So one base versus one base, I do like giving the edge to Kinsano. Obviously, we were behind for quite a while, so we still have to make up some ground. And the way I'm doing that is I'm using my maneuverability here to run around the map and just try to keep my opponent on the move while we try to dish out as much damage as possible, cutting off reinforcements, hitting units, and doing things that way. So we actually got a nice little cutoff. There's that like flamer we talked about. Our opponent is going to counter us with a grunt dome. If you saw there, I actually did not drop in my flamer because that means I can use that in a future engagement. Well, he will not have the luxury of using a grunt dome. So keep that in mind there. So he's got a nice big army there in the middle. This game's getting quite intense. It's really anyone's game at this point, but I'm really liking my position with all my flame hogs. As we can see here, I've got a decent amount of base damage. Going to take out that mini base there, and we're going to move on. If you look at the left-hand side of the right-hand side of the screen on the left-hand side of the mini-map, because of that marine placement, we can actually see that our opponent is trying to build a secret expo on the left-hand side of the map, which we will be able to take out and counter. We have our Kinsano Cyclops going across, but I decide to pull her back in case I have to defend my main. And so I'm going to upgrade a turret now to anti-vehicle. I was going anti-infantry, changed my mind to anti-vehicle, building another turret, and our Kinsano Cyclops is coming in the back. And now she is here. I'm going to run away with her. I'm just trying to keep him off my base for as long as possible, using her speed to my advantage. Now, his units are pretty clumped up here, so we're going to go for a roast. He's got a lot of heals, but as you guys can see, even with the heals, we do insane amounts of damage with our leader, and she still gets away scot-free there. We're going to continue making our flame hogs because they're doing really well. We're getting that flame mortar upgrade that we showed in the tutorial. And now we're actually going to use our speed once again to go out onto the map and start harassing, because we notice our opponent's army, while it is probably strong in a straight up engagement, it is not strong in the form of a base trade or just catching our army in general. So now we have 2 turrets on our main. We got a watchtower. He's got his leader out once again on that mini base. Goes for a nice heal there. And what we're going to do is use our Cyclops. We actually ran it away because we want to get the shield back up on it. And now what you notice, our opponent is actually dropping in an army at the front of our base. So we're going to have to come in here and do our best to defend. We are about to have our own big drop that we also showed in the tutorial. And what you guys are going to see is me drop it right in the middle. I had to make the executive decision there to drop it in the middle instead of waiting for my army to catch up so that I could use it on there. So we got a nice big flame wall on top of that army once again. As you guys can see, that flame wall is no joke at all whatsoever. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go across the map and try to deny that expansion now that we've melted most of his army. I want to rebuild that pad that we lost. I'm getting a nice vehicle upgrade. We've got a pad. We're going to upgrade that as well. Our yellow income is not the best, but that's okay. We don't really need yellow for the rest of the game. Not much of it anyway. We're mostly worried about our blue and getting out as many units as possible. We're going to pick up that mini base that we lost, and now we're going to go for the kill on this base. What you want to do is actually drop the flamer as close to what you're attacking as possible. So if it is a structure, try to drop it on, because it does impact damage when it lands, as well as that little flame pool we talked about will actually do damage to the structure as well. So he's actually bringing in his army now. He wants to save that expo, and if you guys notice, I'm doing that thing yet again where I just kind of go up to his army with my leader, and then I run away from it in the opposite direction. I remember that mini base was weak, so I sent that singular hog over there to try to deal with that. And as we're about to see here, the expansion is going to go down. He tried to drop in the grunt dome, but too little too late, and we do manage to pick that off. And now if you remember, our opponent was on no expo at the time, so that was his only expo. So we're back basically into an even fight. However, I believe I do have the better army out on the field currently. Our opponent does have rangers in those garrisons, which is highly annoying, but it really only tickles our leader. Our opponent's actually running home with his grunt goblins. And there we go on the right hand side. We just scouted him trying to build yet again another secret expansion. One of our hogs did run into a mine there, but that's okay. They're pretty tanky. Yat mines are strong, but obviously not strong enough to deal with that. Our turret drop missed yet again, but again, I mean, it's zoning our opponent out. He's got to go all the way back home. And yeah, so now he's got 2 weak grunt goblins, and that means we are free to roam the map and do as we please. On the upper left hand side of the map, if you look on the mini map, you can actually see I actually have some flamers on hold ground stance attacking the other mini base. So I'm attacking him on all fronts here, guys, not just one position. I am all over the map. I'm trying to boa constrict my opponent, just trying to squeeze as much as I can. We are at 67 population out of 80. This game has been extremely aggressive the entire time. Neither me or my opponent was able to get too much of an army out because we were constantly fighting. And that's kind of the way I believe Halo Wars 2 and most RTSs should be. I don't really believe too much in sitting back. I like high octane, high performance games where it comes down to micro and, just, knowledge of the game instead of just sitting under a shield and seeing who takes a bad engagement first. I don't like that style of play, but unfortunately, a lot of times in Halo Wars 2, it is the way the game is played. But again, as I stated, not the case here. I'm actually going to drop my flamer on top of this. He gets a really nice drop off on me, which means he probably had a hidden cannon fodder or something across the map. What I want to do here is actually focus down the Grunt Riders because those are the source of the base damage. So as you see, I'm actually clicking those first. Even if he takes out a pad or two, we're still in a really strong position. And I do believe for my opponent, this is more like a last-ditch effort type of thing. And as you can see there, I did manage to split out of that quite nicely. I've garnered most of the mini bases on the map, except for that one on the upper right. And now we're actually just cleaning up the remaining forces of our opponent, getting a beautiful flame wall on the remaining parts of that drop. And now our opponent is bunched up in the middle of the map, and I think it's time we go in for a kill shot. We're feeling very strong now, and as long as we keep the pressure on, our opponent will not be able to try to do anything on the map. As I stated, it's very important to keep checking for expansions. You do not want to let your opponent back into the game. Looking back, I actually just noticed he has the bottom right node, which I could have probably stopped by putting my own Marine or something over there, maybe my Kinsano Cyclops when she wasn't doing anything, maybe grabbing that back, keeping that away from him. Not so much that I needed that node, it's more of just taking it away from him. Would have been a smart play. And here we go. We're on the final mini base, and I say the final mini base because that middle one isn't even built yet. He did kill it, but I don't think it's built, and even if it is, the pads on it have not been used or have paid for themselves. And here we go, guys. I'm about to get the final point, and we are going to go for a Inferno onto his base. And this is why I tell you guys, and that's why I said earlier, Kinsano 1v1 base is just, it's disgusting. This part of the game where if your army isn't at home defending, you are going to get nuked into oblivion, guys. So I have my Inferno ready. I've got my big drop ready. All I'm really waiting for here is the money. And what you're going to see now is me just kind of buying time, running my Kinsano Cyclops away, and then my army in two different directions. So my Cyclops is going one direction, my army is going the other direction. He pulls off a please don't shoot me, and he's probably going to use that time to heal up his structures. I actually do end up grabbing that node to keep that away from him. My only goal right now is to kill the shield gen because I do not want that shield popping back up. Halo Wars 2 is a little finicky in the way it lets those shields come back. So taking that out is a great step. And as you can see, my Flame Hogs do a considerable amount of damage to structures. And now we're bringing our Kinsano Cyclops back and hoping for a good flame wall to put this game away and give us the victory. Our opponent is Tech 3 now, so him getting those wraiths out is actually really scary. So we do want to end this game as soon as possible. I do see the base on the left-hand side. I'm not too worried about it, though. As soon as that shield goes down, we're going to drop that in. That should just about break the shield, and now my Kinsano Flame Wall melts absolutely everything. The turret dropping in the back, and there it is. So that is me using Kinsano, basically on the fly. No real build or examples are out there of in-depth analysis of a Kinsano versus another top player in the game. So there you guys go. We're gonna roll the outro here. Hope you guys did enjoy this, and I'll talk to you guys in 2 seconds. All right, guys, so how was that? I hope you guys did enjoy this Kinsano Masterclass here today on the channel. If you guys did enjoy, do me a favor and smack that like button, comment down below, check out some of our previous videos, and of course, subscribe. I've noted, okay, so I'm getting thousands of views from you guys on these videos, but almost none of you are subbing, but you're coming back to watch the content anyway. I'm assuming my videos are popping up in your guys' recommended feeds, or you're seeing my advertisements over on Facebook and Discords and Reddit. Yeah, if you guys are coming from one of those places, please let me know in the comments down below as to where you're coming from, how you're seeing the channel, or if you're already a current subscriber, let me know as well. If you guys want, choose the leader down below in the comments as to what you want to see next, which leader. Kinsano is kind of easy for me because I had a great game, obviously, as you guys just saw versus Amarante, so that was a, no-brainer. I figured you guys would absolutely love to see that. Don't worry, in the future, we will not, unless another crazy game like that happens, most of the footage will be shot on my 4K monitor with no overlays or anything like that. That's kind of where everything's at. Interestingly enough, these 4K videos take up a lot of space. I gotta buy a new hard drive. It's incredible. Like these files are thick. Yeah, if you guys would help support and help me actually pay for this stuff, I'd really appreciate that as well. You guys have been supporting the hell out of me over on Twitch. I know a lot of people on YouTube don't watch Twitch. I understand it's, you know, it's time consuming. You can't watch Twitch when you want. There are VODs, but it's not the same. But yeah, subscribe, thumbs up, share the video. Links to all my stuff will be in the description below. And yeah. That's it. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Oh yeah, this is Yodesla signing off from the blue chair.